Welcome to Senior Care Today. I'm Shelley Duffy and I'll be your host. Over the next hour, you're going to be hearing from 4 life program providers serving southwestern Pennsylvania. Each program provides coordinated care, allowing seniors to remain living in their homes while receiving all of the services they need. These 4 life providers are all part of the national program PACE, operating as the life program in Pennsylvania Community. Community Life will be giving the overview of the life program in this segment, and we're going to start the show by welcoming Richard DiTommaso and Dr. Kalpana Char. Welcome to the show today.
Good morning.
Now, I'm sure the first question that everybody has is, what is the life program? What's it all about?
Well, the life program is for seniors who need long-term care and supports, but it enables them to stay in their homes. The program's been very successful at keeping people out of nursing homes and out of the hospital. This year actually marks the 20th anniversary of the Balanced Budget Act, which made the program a permanent provider under Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare calls it the Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. In Pennsylvania, all the providers have LIFE in their name, which stands for Living Independence for the Elderly.
Now, what makes someone able to live in their home, but somebody has to definitely go to a nursing home? What is the difference with what you're doing and perhaps when they would absolutely have to go there?
A person living in their home would be able to be left alone for at least a short period of time and not need the continuous presence of another individual for their care.
Where is life available and who offers it? I mean, where can people find out about that?
So the Program of All-Inclusive Care is in 33 states. Pennsylvania is one of the top providers of the program of any state, and it's in 33 counties. In southwestern Pennsylvania, it's in Allegheny, Beaver, Butler, Lawrence, Armstrong, Fayette, Washington, Greene, Indiana, Cambria, Blair, and Somerset. So it's pretty well covered.
How does it work specifically? How does it help people stay well in their homes and be able to do all the things that you were just talking about?
So there are 4 pillars of service that we provide. One of them is that you can come to a health and activities center to see your physician, to have occupational and physical therapy if you need it. There is socially driven activities that are going on at the centers. If you need care in your home to take care of yourself, we have personal care services available, durable medical equipment. We make home modifications for accessibility and for independence. We transport people to and from our centers and to all of their doctor's appointments. And a really important part of the program is that we order and manage all medications out of our health centers, which helps to make sure that people are on the right getting the right medicines and that they're taking them properly.
So what does the doctor do?
So one of the most important parts of senior care is the medical care. And one of the hardest things to do for a frail elderly senior is to navigate the healthcare system. They often have trouble understanding the conversations, making the appointments, getting to appointments, and often get depressed with social isolation and just don't want to go to appointments. So one of the things that the doctor does is to help coordinate and navigate the healthcare system for the elderly. We, with much support staff, are able to make appointments for people. We're able to help them understand, spend more time with them. We have much lower ratios of participants to physicians. So an average physician in a life program may have about 100 to 150 patients as opposed to 1,000 patients or 2,000 patients in your panel. So we really are able to spend the time. We're able to really make sure that our patients have understood and really able to focus on what their goals are.
What are some other challenges that they might face or you might face?
So some of the things that make the life programs unique are that we offer transportation. I think that's a really, really big part of being able to get to doctor's visits, being able to get medication, being able to go to specialty visits. getting the right care at the right time is, I think, one of the advantages of the medical care.
And why is coordinated care so important? What is the key thing that people need to know?
So I think it's often hard to tailor your plan.
Welcome back to Senior Care Today, life programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. Right now, let's welcome Dr. Brent Nickisher and Dr. Sean Eubank, who are going to discuss medical and medication issues of senior life, which I imagine can get pretty complicated as we age. So what is the difference then between the care that someone would get at a typical doctor's office and the care that they would get through the life program?
Okay, if we think about our typical senior citizen who requires extensive medical care as they age, their medical conditions get worse with time. They usually go see their family doctor every 3 months, every 6 months, depending on their needs. After they get evaluated by their doctor, they usually leave with a prescription and some recommendations and their wish the best. The difference in a life program is that our care is much more integrated in a team and much more comprehensive. The ability for a senior to see a doctor or see an on-call nurse any time of the day or night is absolutely essential if something should change in their medical condition. Our programs are an alternative to nursing homes. So if you take a senior who might have some heart or lung conditions and they would like to remain in the home, maybe they're having a little bit of dementia and their family is providing support, but their goal is to stay in the home. Our team, which is an interdisciplinary team of nurses, doctors, physical therapists, social workers, dietitians are all available to help them meet the goal of staying in the home and avoiding a nursing home or a hospital. So it's very unique. We follow them home and provide 24/7 access to care.
So this then really cuts down on the number of, let's say, hospitalizations they might need, or maybe trips to the emergency room, which is again a big issue when it comes to those who are aging.
Yeah, and there's a couple specific reasons for that that are very important. First of all, the average family physician or internist might have several thousand patients in their practice. With our life program, our participants get a lot of individualized and specialized care from their physician and other members of the interdisciplinary team. And the reason is because our doctor to patient ratio is much smaller. The average physician in a life program might only have 100 participants, so you can give much more detailed, specific care as situations may arise needing care.
So tell us then about the types of specialties that are available.
Sure, Shelley. The life programs contract with a complete panel of specialists. So if we have members who see cardiologists, pulmonologists, diabetic doctors, dermatologists, surgeons of all types, we contract with a complete panel to provide that care. And in addition, we contract with ophthalmologists and dentists, also podiatrists, so we can provide a full spectrum. Now, it doesn't stop there. The doctors in the life centers collaborate very closely with the specialists so that we can review specialist recommendations, we can sit down and talk with our patients, we can come up with a care plan that matches what the patient wants and what the specialist is recommending. So everybody has an agreement. It's a very good process. It works out very well.
Now, do most people realize that this is even available? I mean, when you just mentioned all of the specialties and the opportunities for people that they could have in their home, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Sure, and I think these programs are growing in popularity. Right now, PACE programs are about 135 or 36 across the country. They're not in every state. Some states have multiple programs. But they do provide a level of care which is really unequaled. Our members have complete physical assessments every 6 months. Their care team is not just a doctor in a doctor's office, and this is really important. Our teams are made of physicians, nurse practitioners, registered nurses who really help manage our members through the process. But we also have physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists. We have dietitians, and we have activities coordinators. We have social workers in our buildings to help our patients that have non-medical issues. So we really have a team that really moves in with our patients. We go to their homes and we care for them. We have access to care 24 hours a day. They can contact a nurse. The nurse can contact the doctor. It's a very comprehensive home for medical care.
What a wonderful opportunity for people. Let's talk, if we could, briefly about medications. Obviously, different doctors are prescribing different things. How do you avoid unnecessary issues?
You want to take that?
Medications are obviously very important. There's a lot of medical conditions that require medications. They're small life insurance policies to some degree. And we take a lot of time to educate our participants and make sure that they're compliant with their necessary medications. Oftentimes, there's a problem in that too many medications are prescribed, and that can cause problems as well.
Right. So it's not unusual for our patients to come into our program on 15 or more medications. And we try to make it a goal to look at those medications carefully, try to decide, are the medications effective? Are they prescribed for the reason that they're taking them? And are they working? And do those medications interact? And we know medications, if a patient's taking more than 5, they're having an interaction with their medications in some form. So our goal is to look at those medications, look at their doses, and make changes to their medications. We do this in close conjunction with the patient. We also talk with specialists. So if a specialist recommends a medication, we can look at that recommendation, we can look at their other medications, and we can talk to members about is it appropriate for them. Importantly, we have a centralized pharmacy which provides medications, and as the physician, I know all of their medications a patient is taking, and we deliver those medications to the member's home. And our nurses check them so that we know the members are taking them. We have a very close idea of what's happening there.
Very comprehensive
Right.
and wonderful for the patient. Dr. Nikisher and Dr. Eubanks, thank you. And when we return, Bridget Hartnett of Life Pittsburgh will discuss day center activities and meals. That's all coming up next when Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania continues. Welcome back to Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. Bridget Hartnett is here to talk about day center activities and meals. Welcome to the show, Bridget. It's good to see you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We've had some wonderful conversations all day long about the programs and how amazing they are. What is day center, though?
Sure. So it's one of the greatest benefits of the PACE program because what it does is it allows for everything to come together. So it's a location that the participants will go to that has all of their medical, social, interactive, any type of services that they may need from the program, they'll receive those there at that center.
So specifically,
Correct.
What can they get there?
So their therapy would be there, their nurses will be there. So if they needed something, if they came in and had a little bit of a cold, they could be addressed. They have activities there. We have meals there for them to have. There is a personal care area. So if at home somehow they can't get to their restroom the way that they used to and they need some extra support, they can have those done at the center.
Now, is this some place that they come to and stay, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great
where they
question.
stay.
So what will happen is when you enroll in a life program, that will become your center. So that's like your new community. That's where you belong. Nobody stays at the centers. You go home every day. Our transportation will pick you up at your door, bring you to the center, and when it's time to return home, we'll bring you home. So you don't even have to worry about how to get there or how you're going to get home from there. So it's just a day program.
The transportation, and again, this is something that is, if you have a loved one, you get concerned about that kind of thing. And is that something that people don't have to worry about? These are trained and licensed people that you can feel comfortable that your loved one is getting to and from that center if need be.
So the drivers get to know really the participants very well because those routes don't change necessarily. New people get on them, but pretty much you have the same driver every day. So when the driver pulls up, you say, "Hey Joe, how are you this morning?" He gets to know you. They meet you at the door, help you from your door. It's not like that you have to be waiting on a corner anywhere. And some of the other public transportation programs that are out there for seniors, you have to wait. You get on a waiting line, you call in. That's not the case. This is all set up for you from your center. So if they know that you're going to be picked up at 9:30, that's pretty consistent every day.
What are some of the activities? You mentioned activities during the day.
So we have recreational therapists that are there at the center, and so they'll look at not only just things that you might enjoy doing, but things that will actually benefit you from your functional level. So if you were somebody who used to play cards or you used to go to knitting circle or something, we can get that going for you there at the center, which is really nice. A lot of times the participants come in and they have their own interests, so they sort of start an entire program on their own. So it doesn't have to be structured from us. It's just that we do put things in place. We have a calendar that comes out every month, and that allows you to kind of anticipate what's going to be going on.
So if somebody says, oh, you know what, I want to play, bingo or whatever, something that maybe you don't have organized or whatever, you will be able to accommodate them.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
This is we try to look at this as sort of their home away. They're allowed to do things. They move freely around the centers. There's not a lot of scheduling that happens so that people can kind of do what they choose to do. If they want to play bingo, then maybe the doctor waits that day until they're ready to come see them.
Is this something that you have to attend? I mean, once you're with that
most people, what we look at is what the need is for that particular person. So some people need to come in more frequently, and then other people don't need to come in as frequently. So that's something that when you join the program, your team will work with you and make a determination what's best. And a lot of times what happens is people get very isolated out in the community. They're living in a senior high-rise, but maybe they're in their apartment more than they're out of their apartment. Plus, functionally, I think it's harder and harder for people to get out to do things that they used to. So by coming into the program, you really do kind of open up your life to something. And so I think that people realize after they've been there for a while that it really is a positive thing.
What about some other benefits? You just mentioned a couple.
Sure. Well, and the other I was thinking about was the caregivers. By coming into the center, you're not concerned then, is your mom getting fed today? Did she get up this morning? How's she doing? Is her leg still bothering her? She's in the center with us, and we're able to address those things immediately if they need to be addressed. And it just takes a burden off of those people who are caring for them in the community. Our goal is that they stay in their own homes. So we want to help them age in that place and not have to, uproot themselves at the end of time when they get to that point.
What is so different about the programs you have? If you had to sum it up, what would you say?
I think it is about relationship. This is not the kind of program that you would necessarily go into and just see somebody once in a while. You're not going to have different people coming in and out of your life. Your nurse will be your nurse, and you'll get to know them really intimately, and they'll know about your family and your children. So I think the relationship piece about it is very important. And I think that just the fact that you're not funneled into a certain thing. You're able to do what you want to do, and it's a little bit more flexible there. So it's a great idea.
Again, wonderful facilities and a great idea. And hopefully people are finding out about it today. Thanks so much, Bridget. Up next, we're going to talk to Amy Farrell Olson, who will talk about physical, occupational, and nutritional therapies for senior care. It's all coming up next when Senior Care Today continues. Welcome back to Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. Right now, let's welcome Amy Farrell Olson, Rehabilitation Manager, who's going to talk about physical, occupational, and nutritional therapies for senior care. We all need those. It's so nice to have you, Amy.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, let's talk about then the therapies that are offered. We obviously mentioned a couple. What do you have available in the Life programs?
In the Life programs, we do have physical and occupational therapy, as you mentioned, and speech therapy. We offer wellness programs and also massage therapy.
So when you talk about all of those, how involved do they get, the speech therapies? Maybe get a little more specific about how they help those who are participating.
Sure. Therapy plays a key role in the Life programs. Physical therapy works on things such as home assessments, and occupational therapy works on those home assessments. They recommend modifications as needed, equipment is needed. Speech therapy works on things as memory, swallowing, addresses diet concerns. They play a key role.
What about the role of rehab in the Life programs?
Sure. Rehab is, we have a center at 4 centers, and we have a therapy room there. So we do therapy in the center, but we also play a large part in the homes. We do go into the homes and train caregivers and things as needed, make recommendations for equipment, adaptive equipment.
Tell us, I'm sure you have many, but maybe 1 or 2 of your favorite success stories out there.
We do have a lot of success stories. I'm going to mention Roger. He's one of our participants, and he's a Steeler fan. He had season tickets since the 1980s. But in the 1970s, he had a cervical fracture, and in the neck, and then another neck injury in the 80s and in 2001. And Roger was diagnosed as an incomplete quadriplegic, which meant he had weakness in all 4 of his limbs. Roger developed cancer and a serious infection, and he was hospitalized in May of 2016. Roger had therapy in the nursing home, and his therapy was completed, but Roger was still determined to get home. So that's when the LIFE program stepped in. And we accepted Roger in August of 2016, and Roger in September of 2016 started his therapy with Life Care, with home care, his home care services. He also was able to go to his first Steeler game in 35 years on Christmas Day when his family surprised him with tickets.
That is a success story.
Super
That's
cool.
wonderful.
Yep.
And again, there's so much that goes into, and you know, as we age, there are many different things that we're going to face. I mean, obviously, as the body kind of, you know, it's kind of letting go, saying, I'm sort of tired. But there are ways that these therapies are obviously helping people. And how else does it help them as they are going through this process in their life?
Well, it gives them the support. It gives the caregivers support. We do stress wellness, wellness programs. The therapy team's very committed to meet the participant where they're at. They take into account their medical status, their functional status, their goals, their hopes, and their dreams, and works with those people to get them home and to keep them home and what they need.
What kind of transformation do you see from people who become participants from before and the after? Obviously, Roger is an amazing success story, but just in general, how would you describe what you see on a daily basis?
I see such quality of life. I see participants who are so happy that they're home, and whatever level they're at, if they're walking, if they're using a walker, if they're in a wheelchair, if they're in a power wheelchair, whatever level they're at, they're accommodated for within rehab and with the services that we can offer. So it's exciting to see that we accommodate all levels of care.
It must be wonderful to see that transformation from when they come to you and then when you are able to help them to the point, you know, maybe not everybody to Roger's extent, but still be able to see the level of wellness and the you know, maybe depression is gone. Right. That kind of thing must be a really good feeling.
It is. It really is to see people what their hopes and dreams are. I'm very proud of the rehab team and the LIFE participants. They're amazing, the LIFE participants we serve.
How does rehab promote wellness within the community as a whole?
Well, physical therapy may work on strength and balance to help a participant with their safety and ability to go out to eat, to go to the doctors, to go shopping. They may train someone how to use a rollator. That's the walker with the 4 wheels and the seat. And then they would have a seat if they're tired or fatigued. Occupational therapy, they could go in the community and teach fall prevention. They do that in the center also. They teach people how to use adaptive equipment. And speech therapy also, just working on wellness, working on communication board, maybe for someone who's hearing impaired or can't speak.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Amy.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you letting everybody know about the LIFE programs. Coming up next, Richard DiTomaso and Dr. Kalpana Char will discuss home care. That's all next when Senior Care Today LIFE programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania continues. Welcome back to Senior Care Today, LIFE programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. Let's welcome back Richard DiTomaso and Dr. Kalpana Char, both from Community Life, who are going to talk about senior home care today. Now, we want to talk about the impact home care has on people. So why don't we start with that?
Managing some of the day-to-day activities are very difficult as physical disabilities and some cognitive decline happens in your frail senior elderlies. So one of the things that home care can do is help with maintaining community living while they're going through these different experiences. We're able to help people with like chores at home, getting shopping done, doing light house cleaning, such as
Bathing,
vacuuming.
dressing.
We're able to do personal hygiene. We are able to help them with laundry. So there's a wide spectrum of home care services we can offer.
Is this something too, as we age and knowing people who are older, one of the biggest things is giving up that independence, and is that something that's where you're helping them, is to maintain a little bit of that at least within their home?
We all decline as we age. Caring for yourself, caring for your home, getting places that you need to go can have an impact on your social life. It can increase social isolation and also lead to a faster decline. So the provision of these services helps people to stay in the game socially and to get places that they need to go and to maintain a dignified presence in the community. It certainly has an impact that also translates into an impact on their health, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Yeah, specifically health, because again, when all of these things decline, I would assume it's almost like a domino effect,
Sure.
where if one thing is becoming an issue, then another thing, and then another, and then soon you're depressed. So maybe talk a little bit about that and how that can help.
Sure. I'll give you an example. Somebody with very bad cellulitis or leg swelling who is so disabled or impaired that they can't get their stockings on that they really need for compression. Maybe they get frequent cellulitis that might warrant hospitalization, or they may get wounds in their legs if their edema isn't controlled. For us to put home care aids in to help them get their stockings on really impacts their medical condition. For them to be able to get ready to go to a doctor's appointment, for example, having good hygiene might impact what kind of care they receive in the community in terms of having a dignified presence, as Rich said.
Okay, that's what I wanted to follow up with that. Now, what do you mean might have an effect on the kind of care they get?
The person's willingness to
To
actually
go.
go
Okay,
to the
to
medical
actually get it.
appointment
Okay.
and to feel comfortable being out and around other folks. And
Well, when you think about it, even just as one of us, I mean, we want to feel our best when we go out.
You wanna
We
look
want
your
to
best.
feel, yes, we want to look our best, and we want to take that with us. And that gives you an overall feeling of confidence and like you can do it. And I'm assuming that that's something that is a difficult situation as you do age and as you are facing those challenges.
Sure.
What else should people know about this particular aspect and how it can help those who are aging and who need this type of assistance?
I don't think that you can ignore the social impact, the impact of socialization and the person's ability to maintain their relationships in the community, go to church, stay involved with family and friends, and enjoyed hobbies and other things that folks do.
And is that something that people do express to you, that this is something that is important to them, getting out and being with people?
We have a number of people that have been very effusive about the fact that before they joined the program, they were going out into the community less. They were seeing friends less. It was too hard. They didn't feel right. And it just, maybe took too much effort, or they didn't have the help to sort of, get themselves together to do that.
And many studies have indicated too that socializing and doing these things and having a purpose is so important as we age. So what would be one final message that you would like to leave viewers with about this home care and how important it is to those who are able to benefit from it?
Sometimes it's the difference whether someone can stay at home or has to go to a nursing home. And this is something that can really help our frail elderly population to be able to stay at home for much longer with the addition of home care services.
And that's the key. That is the key, is that people would like to be able to stay at home and to be where they're comfortable, correct?
Sure.
All right. Thank you both so much for joining us
Thank
again
you.
today. We truly appreciate it. Richard, Dr. Char, thanks so much. And coming up next, Dr. Brent Nickisher and Dr. Sean Eubank. They're going to join us to talk about senior life transportation. That's all coming up next when Senior Care Today Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania continues. Welcome back to Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. Dr. Brent Nickisher and Dr. Sean Eubank are back to talk about senior life transportation. And that's something, I mean, we've been talking today about independence and trying to maintain that with seniors. And that, again, is a big challenge. So tell us about transportation and what your programs provide on that end.
We have participants that come to our adult daycare on a regular basis. They're usually picked up at their home by a bus driver who is experienced in senior safety. They're well educated. They also know the participants well, and they can recognize if there's something going on that they can alert either the doctor directly or a member of the interdisciplinary team to a change in their condition. Again, that early intervention is valuable because our biggest goal is to provide excellent care and prevent hospitalizations.
When you talk about the drivers being experienced, specifically what do you mean? If I had someone that I loved, that I knew was being picked up, by a bus driver, for whatever reason, I would want to make sure that that person is qualified and is a safe driver for my loved one. So specifically, do they have to go through a certain testing, or how does that all work?
They get a very thorough medical evaluation to make sure that they are safe to operate the motor vehicle. Then they're educated in other areas of safety to make sure that they understand the needs of the participants. In addition to that, they again help alert the team if there's any questions or concerns with the participants, so we can go on to provide additional care.
So if someone gets in the bus or they help someone into the bus that doesn't look quite right, or maybe looks a little bit off that day, they'll recognize that.
Right. One of the benefits of the program is the drivers get to know the members as well as we do. They often run the same routes and they're caring for the same members. So they'll provide door-to-door service from bus to their home. They'll also in the morning help prepare with coats or shoes to bring people to the bus. They get to know the caretakers for our members as well. So if they notice something is off, somebody's not smiling today, they're not as cheerful, maybe they're sad, they're going to bring that to the attention of the care team the moment they arrive in the center. So it's this idea of this early recognition and early intervention so that we can be aware of a problem and we can intervene before that problem becomes more serious for them, okay? So I like to think about it this way. As our patients, in fact, as our loved ones age, they become limited. They have poor vision, poor hearing sometimes. If they're living alone, they're not driving. They're sort of become, isolated in their homes.
Well, that independence again that we all crave and that we don't want to
Absolutely.
give up.
And if they live with the caretaker or family and that family works, they're still alone for a large portion of the day. So if they can't watch TV, they can't talk on the phone because they don't hear well, we provide the ability to come into the home, take them out to a life center where we can provide an opportunity for them to socialize. They can have lunch, they can access health care, they can access physical therapy, they can have a social worker help them attend to any non-medical related needs that they have. And it turns out in our centers that social activity is one of the best things for our members. I mean, they blossom.
It's great medicine.
They need
They
it.
really blossom.
And I mentioned in the show before that it really is. There are studies that show that you need that socialization, you need interaction, you need
Right.
friends. And that
Absolutely.
doesn't stop just because you get to be a certain age.
That's right.
So the fact that you're able to provide that
Right.
is wonderful
Right.
for your patients.
These are wonderful programs, and we really need to get more of them.
Let's talk about the buses themselves. I mean, are these regular buses? How are they equipped? And how are they safe? That kind of thing.
They're specially designed buses. They have multiple safety features, and they're wheelchair accessible for those participants that have walkers or wheelchairs. There's actually platforms that assist them to get into the buses safely. And again, all the drivers are trained to help limit any risks that would occur getting off or on the bus.
What else, if our viewers were sitting there thinking, okay, why would my loved one want to be a part of this program, or why would I want them to be a part of this program? How would you sum it up for them when it comes to
There's
programs?
no type of medical care anywhere that gives the degree of safety and comprehensive medical care that a LIFE program is capable of giving. I've been in the field of medicine for over 20 years. I've only been the medical director of Senior Life for the last 2 years. I am still impressed every day at what these programs can do and the care that's provided by the team. It's absolutely an amazing thing, and it's a well-kept secret, and we're trying to change that.
Yes, we got to tell
we're
people
trying to
about
change
this.
that. Yeah, if you want to, you think about most doctors are educated in the same way in the same schools. This is a new way of thinking about medicine in general. We're not interested in so much in a person's symptoms. We're interested in the person. We want to care for a person. We want to care for them in the place they live, and we want to be aware of the people that are helping them to remain in their homes. The number one goal is to keep our members in their homes. So talking about symptom control is important to do that, but we want to not just think about a symptom. We want to think about how our intervention is going to change their entire life. And having a team help us do that, our interdisciplinary team helps us look at members from as many different directions as we can. Very, very nice.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful opportunity. Right. And remember my name, because I'm probably going to. Okay. Dr. Nickershire, Dr. Eubank, thank you so much. Joanne Gago, CEO of Life Pittsburgh, will join us to talk about community health choices, and that's all coming up next when Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania, continues. Welcome back to Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. CEO of Life Pittsburgh, Joanne Gago, joins us now to talk about community health choices. And that's a wonderful, wonderful way to start. Joanne, welcome to the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. What is a community health choice? It sounds very official, and it's something we need to know about.
Yes. Well, Pennsylvania, like many other states in the country, is now moving toward this program called Community Health Choices. It really takes care, this is kind of an insurance plan for people that have been on medical assistance, and it provides a coordination of care for them. Right now, if you talk to anyone who's on a Medicaid program or a medical assistance program, you'll find a very fragmented approach to their care. Community Health Choices should create a certain coordination and a certain organization to their care so that there's not any confusion about the goals of their health care.
And I'm sure it is a confusing process, and especially as we age and there's so much that goes into it. Well, how does the LIFE program then fit into all of this?
Well, somewhere in 2018, we will be embarking on this program through the state that will ask for managed care organizations and the LIFE program that'll sit right beside those managed care organizations to take assignment of all the people that are currently on medical assistance, and many of which also receive Medicare. We call those people dual eligibles. They have both Medicare and Medicaid, and those are the folks that have kind of dropped through the cracks. The idea will be that the LIFE program sits beside these managed care organizations as an equal partner to that, and will allow us to care for as many older adults that need us. So we fit right into the plan. We've been here for 20 years in the community. Many people don't know about the LIFE programs in southwestern Pennsylvania.
I'm sure they don't. And again, it's something that the more and more that I've even heard about it today. I mean, this is a phenomenal program for everyone.
Well, for all three groups, for the persons that receive the services, they love it because they can choose. There's a lot of freedom in the program. They get many services that they would not get under traditional services, under traditional insurance. Generally, the insurance providers love it because we take kind of a complicated participant, complicated patient, and we manage their care for them. And then thirdly, frankly, almost all the providers that work in the LIFE program feel so enthused because they don't have to follow some algorithmic or some plan or pattern of care. They can do what the individual person needs, which is really refreshing.
I always wonder about why people don't know about these programs. Where does that issue lie? I mean, who's not letting them know, or how are they not finding out? Or somebody saying, hey, have you ever heard about the LIFE programs? Why?
I think that's a great question. We've been here for 20 years, and it is sort of a little known secret. Part of it is it takes a lot of dollars to if you will, publicize and market and advertise, and that's not what we really do. We're here to care for people, and the message needs to get out a little better, and that's kind of why we're really happy we can participate in this showcase.
What about eligibility requirements? I'm sure that's a question that many people have. Well, how do I know if I can even take advantage of these benefits in this particular program?
You might say to yourself, this doesn't sound like an elder care program when I say it's age 55 and older, until whatever age one gets to. And it generally is serving people who are lower income, who would right now qualify for medical assistance. It also can also take care of people that are not on medical assistance if they're interested in doing a private pay for that. So in terms of the additional eligibility requirements, people need to be at a level of care where they actually need the services of a nursing facility, but don't want to live in a nursing facility. So they have pretty significant needs. They're usually fairly ill, somewhat disabled as a part of their aging process for them, and live in a certain catchment area. Southwestern Pennsylvania is fully covered in that way.
What would you say? Obviously, you were talking a little bit about getting the word out. That's a challenge. What would be maybe the other big challenge that you face?
I think most people are not aware of the fact that managed care is coming. So many of our older adults in southwestern Pennsylvania are going to lose the control of their health care if they don't get into a program that will allow them to have a lot of freedom and a lot of choice. So for me, it is so important, after doing this for almost 20 years, to have people know that there's a program there that would be interested in their individual needs, not a blanketed way we pay for something or another, or you can only qualify this test or that way. No, this is an individually approached program that's always in the individual context of the person, which makes it so different than every other insurance plan, because it works by some sort of map, and that's what dictates the company to pay for things. So that's just not how it is here. And people have no out-of-pocket expenses for this. That's really important to know. There are no co-payments or deductibles. This is paid for if you qualify. And again, it's for the medical assistance piece that allows a person to qualify.
All right. Joanne, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for joining us here in the studio. We're going to be right back with some final thoughts about senior care. That's next when Senior Care Today Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania continues. Welcome back to Senior Care Today, Life Programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania. Let's welcome Mark Amick, Center Director for Life Lawrence County, and Martha McLean, who's a participant in Life Beaver County. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Now, we've talked a lot about the great things that life does for a person, but in your experience, Mark, what is the number one thing, perhaps, that you see, the biggest effect that you see as a result of Life programs?
Sure, absolutely. The Life program is a wonderful program. It stands for Live in Independence for the Elderly. The greatest thing that we do is we allow people in the community, frail elderly, to continue to live at home. The mission of our program is to help people avoid nursing home placement, and that's exactly what we do. We help people live in their homes with the supports that they need, and to live an abundant life and to really live independently, because that's where people want to be. They want to be in their own home, they want to live at home with their family and their friends, and we help them do that.
Now, I've asked everybody throughout the day whether or not, as far as when it comes to the biggest thing, which you just mentioned, why is it so important, though, that all of that occurs?
Well, like I said before, people want to live at home, and when people struggle to maintain their independence in the community, a lot of people are faced with the decision, and their families are faced with the decision of, can we really do this? And that's where we try to bridge the gap to help provide additional supports at home. We provide a wonderful day center for people to go Monday through Friday to have friends and participate in activities. We also give people the much needed medical care that they need. We have a physician and medical clinic on site that allows people to get the proper medical care, because accessing medical care in the community can be very difficult. And that's one of the things that we do by having physicians and nurses on site that can help people get get the medical care that they need. In addition to other supports like physical therapy, occupational therapy, we provide wonderful, nutritious meals, and we provide a lot of services that really help people remain in their home. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that people don't receive all of their services in our facility. We provide the majority of the services in people's homes. So we do provide an abundance of care in the home, personal care, housekeeping, laundry, shopping. Really, it's individualized care to help people maintain in their own home, and that looks different for a lot of different people.
Obviously, it benefits the participant, but let's talk about who else these programs benefit. Let's start with the participant's family, for example.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of times people end up going into a nursing home simply because the families don't know how to manage that. They don't know how to have their spouse, mother, father get to all of their doctor's appointments, to have somewhere safe to go, because, I mean, let's face it, most people have to work full time. They have their own schedule that they're juggling. They have their own kids. And we try to really bridge that gap to help support families. So we really partner with families, and one of the things that we like to think is that we're just as much of a support for the participants of the program as we are to the families of the participants, because we all want to have mom, dad, our spouses live at home, or even to live with us but with supports, and that's where we can bridge the gap.
What about to the whole community? How does it benefit the whole community?
It benefits the whole community in a lot of different ways. I mean, people are where they want to be in the community. As our population ages, nursing homes, frankly, are very expensive. They cost a lot for Medicare and Medicaid, and that's one thing that we can also do is we can make sure that people are in the home and in the community, which is where people want to be. In addition to, it's a cost savings for the government and the taxpayers.
Martha, we want to talk to you now because you're the participant, so you've been able to benefit from all of this wonderful stuff. Tell us what this has done for you, being able to go to the daycare.
Well, it has been real wonderful because I was in a very bad depression, and I got involved in it, and it brought my life back, and it helped my family. And even though I am in a private home, it's an individual home, and it's a beautiful home in Beaver, and my family's satisfied with me being there. But life has been so good because they have so many programs for you. And sometimes you can't do all the programs in the time that you're there.
Okay, what are some of your favorites?
Oh, I like the chorus. I don't have a good voice, but
Okay.
I do like the chorus.
Okay.
And we play bingo, we play different cards, games, and we have exercises, and we have religious programs, and we have crafts, and all kind of things to keep you busy every day. There's always something going on.
And that
every
has
day.
helped you
Oh,
emotionally,
definitely.
physically, everything.
Yes, definitely. I would recommend it to anybody if they're in need of help. Now, I could have stayed with my family, but then I was disrupting their life. And I just felt that it was more important and they're all satisfied. We're all satisfied that I made this choice.
Well, Martha, you look wonderful, and
Thank
it's
you.
so wonderful to talk to you because it's great to see the benefit
Yes,
of what
definitely.
you're able to do.
Definitely.
Mark and Martha, thank you so much. That does
You're
it for the show today. If you would like to know more about the life programs of Southwestern Pennsylvania, just log on to lifeprogramspa.com. I'm Shelley Duffy. I'll see you on the next Senior Care Today.